Hi, Assalamualaikum, and welcome to UHLB2122 News. And today we will talk about the Forestry Enforcement Department should monitor closely the policy and implementation levels of deforestation in Malaysia. Meet our reporter, which is Alya Binti Noor, me myself, Nazmie bin Zaid, Mohamad Addlinur bin Jihadi, and Sharifah Alya Syahirah Binti Tuan. For our news today, we will talk about the introduction as well as the thesis statement where the Forestry Enforcement Department should monitor closely the policy and implementation level of deforestation project in Malaysia due to government's failure, higher depopulation growth, demand for industrial agriculture, and economic profits. Moreover, we also to conclude this topic. So, Sharifah Alya, can you explain our topic today?
Assalamualaikum and hi. On today's news, I, Sharifah Syahirah, will be presenting on the introduction part for our topic, which is the Forestry Enforcement Departments should monitor closely on the policy and implementation levels of deforestation projects in Malaysia. Massive deforestation has resulted in rapid change in forest and land cover, especially in Malaysia's tropical forests. The major factor responsible for the changes is to fulfill the growing demand of the increasing population through agriculture, intensification, rural settlements, and urbanization. One of the emphases is illegal deforestation, which involves the act of felling trees or removing timber from the forest without a valid license or depriving the government of revenue of timber charges. Illegal deforestation can be deeply destructive to the forest and its environment because it is not controlled and supervised by the Forest Authority.
Thank you, Alya. So, the Forestry Enforcement Department should monitor closely the policy and implementation levels of deforestation projects in Malaysia due to the government's failure, higher population growth, demand for industrial agriculture, and economic profits. Our research on various papers has confirmed that governance is one of the main contributors to deforestation problems, which fail to supervise the policies and implementation levels of Malaysia's deforestative initiative. The government's weak regulation for the demand of timber resources caused a large gap in the Malaysian constitution's legislations and regulation, land and forestry, where a laws falls within the respective state authority. This enables some state authority policies to stimulate deforestation by charging rates for timber that are higher than the projected stumpage value of the standing timber stated by Risley in 2001. The law controlling the demand for legal timber are one of which are influenced by the stumpage value. This creates a perfect storm to force forestry corporation to log areas that are not assigned to them to recoup as much money as possible from timber harvesting operations. As a result, illegal deforestation occurred. Lack of conservation law is another one of the major factors that allow illegal deforestation to occur. Although the primary reason for illegal logging has never been identified by any parts of the government, there are many cases in which the authority are caught red-handed for corruption. In an article written by Noor in 2017, one such corrupt district forestry department officer in Jerantut, Pahang, was sentenced to 9 months in prison and fined 150,000 ringgit Malaysia after pleading guilty to taking 340,000 ringgit Malaysia from a firm with official links to his works. This endemic of corruption continues to plague Malaysia politics, and the Forestry Authority is no exception. Similarly, the lack of conservation law can also cause insufficient timber tracking and change of custody. As a fact, the tropical forest in Malaysia is highly dense, and some are located in isolated locations that are deep in the forest, including enormous areas that are hidden from the public, monitoring agencies, and the press. All of these illegal activities are happening behind closed doors, and the possibilities of detecting those activities are going to be a wild goose chase, because these are a maze that are created by the intruders itself. Now, let's hear from Harith's perspective on his topic.
Thank you, Addlinur. So one of the main consequences of closely monitoring the policy and implementation level of deforestation is due to higher population growth in Malaysia. Based on our research on the journal from Mohamad has said that the land use development is the main factor in the demographic changes, the subsequent and land use change. Throughout, the statistic shows that Perak and Kedah continuously rise in population for more than 10 years as their domestic economy increase. Nevertheless, residential building construction is one of the most important drivers of demand for wood production, especially for sawn timber. Then, with increasing housing demands, the need of wood product is likely to increase. Most forest lands have been converted to urban settlement, so recreational demands on forests are growing in the region along with rapid urbanization and changes in the age structure, even the developing countries. As a consequence of higher population, poverty increases people in rural area, where the mass amount of people in rural area needs employment and the job available for them is only agriculture. And then the agriculture expansion seems certain to doom many species and habitats to extinction. Moreover, the land is clear for the resettlement of workers and the expansion for farming areas such as palm oil and rubber trees. For agriculture development needs industrial plantation crop. What about the industrial agriculture segment?
Thank you, Harith. And now I'll be presenting on my part, which is demand of industrial agriculture in Malaysia. Thank you, Harith. And now I'll be presenting on my part, which is demand of industrial agriculture in Malaysia. As the global demand for industrial agriculture rises, so does the area for plantation demand increase. For your information, Malaysia is the second largest producer and exporter of palm oil worldwide, and plantation owners benefit from tax benefits, making this an extremely profitable business. However, the rising demand for palm oil has become a major contributor to Malaysia's rainforest devastation. How? According to Dr. Tuan, poorly planned forest clearing for agriculture and plantations, as well as a lack of adherence to environmental policies, pose a severe threat to endangered species habitats in Malaysia. Besides, these oil palm plantations have removed valuable rainforests, making a large-scale commercial farming one of the most serious threats to Malaysian forests. And did you know, the main impact of oil palm agriculture on biodiversity is habitat loss caused by pre-planting, deforestation, and fire. According to the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species, oil palm plantations are home to at least 75,000 to 100,000 threatened species found in orangutans. Human orangutans conflicts, which are commonly associated with expanding agricultural production, kill approximately 750 to 1,250 of these species every year. And considering all of the facts, agriculture from deforestation clearly destroy biodiversity by transforming natural habitats to intensively managed systems. Next is agricultural production, which is also a significant contributor of habitat degradation and accounts for over 80% of worldwide deforestation, and not to mention animal agriculture, which includes cattle and animal feed, is a major cause of deforestation. Next, the livestock industry in Malaysia is one of the important sectors in the country's agriculture. It provides profitable employment and population's domestic meat, milk, and dairy product needs. The growth of this industry will safeguard the country's food security and lessen its reliance on meat imports. However, This form of growth merely adds to the pressure on forests and hastens the destruction of vital ecosystems. Not only that, Malaysia's strong economic and human growth in population has expanded the market for livestock products. Hence, deforestation, a cause to raise livestock and grow crops to feed the world's growing population. This can be seen every year. Huge areas of undeveloped land and forests are destroyed to make way for agriculture production and grazing pastures, as these animals require space and nourishment. This is because animals require more calories to live than what they got for human use, the leading cause of habitat destruction, and as a result, animal agriculture is more destructive than agriculture production that directly generates plant-based food for people. Next, I'll pass to Alya Mohamad Noor for her counter-argument on forestry aids to economic growth and development. Next, I'll pass to Alya Mohamad Noor for her counter-argument on forestry aids to economic growth and development.
Thank you, Sharifah Alya. Now, I'll be presenting on the counter-argument. Deforestation is frequently viewed as a negative issue. However, there are multiple reasons why this practice is carried out, and there are significant benefits of clearing rainforests. One of them is forestry aids to economic growth and development. Forestry has been connected to globalization's international trade and the production of cash crop during the past 2 decades, and since 1970, Malaysia has been one of the world's fastest growing economies. Malaysia's socio-economic development has been supported by the utilization of forest resources, resulting in the country being the top exporter of tropical timber products, rubber, oil palm, and a variety of other commodities. This also may be observed in the increased investment in oil palm plantations. Hence, the palm oil business in Malaysia has grown to become a major player in the global oils and fats market. In addition, it provides intermediate inputs to the food and non-food industries, resulting in indirect employment creations in a variety of food processing and manufacturing businesses, as well as trade and export services. Another advantage of deforestation is that it facilitates civilization and industrialization. Forests encompass vast swaths of land that may be utilized to build manufacturing facilities and other infrastructure. All of these are indicators that a country or a society is developing and becoming more industrialized. As a result, the economy may be benefited as the deforestation process generates a substantial source of revenue. This can be demonstrated in how deforestation-related materials are currently being used to gain profit. For instance, logging provides materials for the construction of houses, enterprises, oil, gas, and mining. When businesses profit from deforestation, the tax revenues gained by those profits serve to pay local governments' initiatives, which are utilized for several purposes. Some of this money is utilized to benefit others through social service programs. Furthermore, forestry improves the economic possibilities by generating jobs in the mining, energy, logging, and oil and gas extraction. When the land is turned into agriculture-designated regions, long-term employment is possible. Consequently, deforestation has provided many families with a chance to acquire a home that they otherwise would not have had. Finally, by increasing the amount of land available for agriculture and infrastructure development, deforestation provides people with the products they require. Although deforestation is an unfortunate practice, it does provide much needed usable land for agriculture purposes. It offers us the ability to create food resources that will last as the human population grows in the future and give extra living space, expand transportations, networks, and stimulate the economy. Although deforestation may not always be a critical issue, people must be aware of its benefits and drawbacks. People may believe that deforestation benefits them, yet the disadvantages outweigh the benefits. Deforestation creates a variety of problems, including species loss, increase of carbon emissions, and long-term impacts like global warming. Deforestation also destroys our animals and natural resources, as well as bringing plenty of other long-term consequences. Therefore, people with knowledge may work together to overcome and solve the problem associated with deforestation.
We can conclude that our news today is about the illegal logging should be addressed at its source, since it includes a big sum of money which motivate the forest offenders to conduct the crimes. Moreover, the most significant tactics for combating the illegal logging are the department to focus on strengthening the forest policy and enforcement division. So, what is your concern about this topic, Noor?
To be clear, yes, the government should regularly monitor, identify, and check for illegal logs and loggings. Is it, however, too late for us to intervene? Because the more time we spend planning actions, the more forests will be encroached upon, damaged, and deforested. Thank you.